Hello, welcome to Lowdown, your source for music, arts, and entertainment in the Akron area and beyond.
On this episode, we'll be featuring some interviews from some musicians and some pop culture coverage.
Sit back and relax because the Lowdown starts right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Lowdown. I'm Tanner.
And I'm Tyler.
We're going to start off today's episode with some interviews that my friend across from me here dug up. Tell me about who you interviewed.
So, the guy that I'm interviewing, his name's Stephen Barry. He's my buddy Brandon's little brother. I interviewed Brandon last semester. Brandon's an introspective artist who I thought was really, really pretty cool. And his brother Steven is he's a wire wrapping artist. And from what I've seen, I've only seen that he makes jewelry, but I'm really interested to see how his career grows.
It's really interesting. Can't wait to check him out. Let's hit it.
I'm Stephen Barry, and what I do is I make wire wrap jewelry, which is just making jewelry like rings and necklaces out of crystals and like wire. I either use sterling silver or copper wire, and eventually I want to like branch out and start making bracelets and earrings as well. But as of right now, I just have rings and necklaces, and they range anywhere from like simple kind of wraps all the way up to more intricate work. Yeah, it's just all stuff like that. I really enjoy working with the crystals and working with their energy and putting my energy in with creating them as well. And here's an opal. So I started in 2018, and that is when I started with just like super simple stuff. I would take like 2 wires, put the stone in, and like kind of twist them together. Here's an actual example of one of the first wire wraps I ever made. And you can see it's just like 2 wires twisted together, like encasing the stone into a necklace. And I did stuff like that for probably like 7 months-ish, and then I took about a year break and just kind of stopped doing it for a while. And then I met my friend Dimitri, and he also wire wraps, and he kind of inspired me to get back into it, and he gave me this necklace, and I wear that every day to kind of just remind me that, like, keep me inspired and all that. And then it was August of last year when I started to like really dive back into it and expand on creating them. So here is a ring that I did. And then that one is amethyst. Okay, so I went to my first Dead & Company show, and the thing is with like Dead & Company or Grateful Dead, they have a huge fan base that will just like travel to like all across the country and just like sell their art along the way, just trying to get to the next show. And I'm a huge Deadhead, and I just fell in love with like the whole scene, and that's where I saw like my first wire wrapping kind of community. And I've always just been really fascinated with stones and the energies and working with them, and I just wanted to give it a try. And there's another one. That one's Garnet. Yes, my good friend Jordan, you can find him on Instagram at jbird_jewelry_gems. He's helped me out a lot in like teaching me things, and he's really humble and not like one of the people that will just like kind of shut you out. He wants to see everybody thrive, so he's helped me out a lot, and that's been awesome. Another influence of mine is Gemhenge on Instagram. He has beautiful work. He works with like gold and all this other stuff that's like, his pieces are thousands of dollars. It's amazing. And another one is Chakra Roots, and he's the same way. He has a lot of intricate and like really precious gem jewelry, and both of them were like two of my biggest inspirations when first starting out and like getting in with the wire wrapping community on Instagram. And then, as I stated earlier, my friend Dimitri, who got me back into it, is a big inspiration of mine as well. And then for necklaces, I have like some simple things like this. This one's labradorite. Yeah, so my friend Jordan that I was telling you about was actually talking about doing a collaboration sometime. So like kind of in the process of getting some collaborations done, but like haven't really talked about all the details yet. But besides that, I just have like quite a few custom orders to get done, rings, necklaces, and I'm working on converting a bus that I bought into my house. So once I get that underway, I'm hoping to like live full time and travel, and so then I can like sell them on the road as well, and like maybe go to beaches and stuff and sell them there, or like art shows or around the country and stuff, and just kind of travel and see the world and all that. And then a lot of people like the Tree of Life design. That one's lepidolite. So right now I do most of my stuff through Instagram, which my Instagram is the _kind_mine with an E, not with a D. There's also a kind mind, and we get mixed up sometimes. But I like usually do stuff through that, and people just like DM me or something. I also have an Etsy that is linked in my bio through there, but there's not too much stuff up on it right now, just because I don't have much in my inventory. It's mostly just custom work right now. But once I get caught up on custom work, then I'll start working more on my inventory and update my Etsy as well. And then I also do, like, this is an example of my more intricate work with lots of coils and stuff like that in there. And that one is cool. I do, but it's gone. Like, I sold it, and it was another like intricate design, and it held two galaxy opals in them. And I'll pull up a picture real quick. This one is Rainforest Jasper. If I were to give any advice for other artists, is just honestly just follow your heart, and like don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. That's the beautiful thing about art. Like, it's yours no matter what you make of it. And there's just like so many like the boundaries are just like limitless. The sky's the limit with art, and I just think that's so beautiful. So I just would say don't give up and just keep chasing your dreams.
He seems really talented. It's always great to see artists who are really passionate about the art they create.
Absolutely. I had a blast getting to interview him and getting to know about him.
Indeed, he seems like a really cool guy to get to know.
Don't go away. Lowdown will be right back. Welcome back to Lowdown. We're changing up today's programming, I know, but I know I'm looking forward to it. Aren't you, Jenner?
Absolutely. It's always great to see the crew bring unique and entertaining ways of presenting music and art here on the Lowdown.
Speaking of which, our team member Komari is actually going to give us the lowdown on recent pop culture.
Take it away, Komari.
Hey everybody, my name is Komari Dean, and I'm going to be your entertainment correspondent for this episode of the Lowdown. On this episode, I'm talking everything movies and music. So sit tight because I'm going to get you through that quarantine slump. First up, let's talk King Kong versus Godzilla. These two titans fight over territory and power. One wants to make a home for themselves and the other one wants to be the last beast standing. So hey, do you think you know who will win? I think I do, but I guess we both gotta watch and see. Next up is one of my personal favorites, The Justice League. It's directed by Zack Snyder. Superman and Batman must come together to fight one common enemy. And doing so, they realize they need a team far greater than themselves. So they join forces with Wonder Woman, Cyborg, The Flash, and Aquaman to fight an enemy that spans across time, dimension, and reality. This will be streaming on HBO Max March 31st. Those last two films look amazing. I cannot wait. Okay, so I have one more treat for you guys. Lastly, it's a fan favorite. Gamers, get ready to unite because the popular video game Mortal Kombat is coming to the big screen. It's directed by Simon McQuaid, Warner Brothers, and New Line Cinema. Mortal Kombat is an intergalactic tournament, and when an Earthling gets invited, well, guess what? It sets in motion a fight of extraordinary skill and ability. So it's going to be premiering in theater, HBO Max, and IMAX when April 16th. So get ready to brush up on your untrained martial arts, okay? Because it is going to be so epic. Next up, you guys, I'm going into see what we're grooving with in our music scene. Music has been my escape to get away from the quarantine lockdown. Artists have been able to put out the type of music that they really want to and get it out directly to the public, such as Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is one of the artists that I keep on my playlist in rotation. Right now, she has a single out, 3436. 3436 is about her love life and how she feels and how she wants. The type of woman that we know puts out everything about how she feels. Next, I have for you a South African rapper called Nasty C. His smooth sounds and his melodic beats captivates his audience. So his song Black and White, which is out right now, is super popular. It talks about how a relationship could, should, and hopefully will be one day with whoever your significant others is. I think he's the one to watch. Arlo Parks is an English artist. She initially fell in love with poetry that spilled over into a music career. Her debut album, Collapsing Sunbeam, was about her closest friends and family and their mental health struggles. She wanted to highlight the good and the bad, and she wanted them to know that they were felt, loved, and heard. She hopes to get the message across in her music that no one feeling is going to last forever, and that on the other side of that feeling there is joy. And I think she did great by getting that message across in her single Caroline. And to end this out, I have one more super talented singer. He's a soul singer named Cautious Clay, and he got known on SoundCloud. Plus, he plays the flute. So he has a song out right now called Roots. Roots is such a dynamic song, and it definitely goes into the behaviors of relationships and why they may not last. So it's something that's really been playing on my playlist. Not that I'm in any trouble, but it's something that keeps you grounded even through all the midst of the chaos around us. Well, guys, that's all that I have for you today. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The Lowdown. Once again, I'm Komari Dean, and I'll see you next time.
Huh. That's good to know. It's always nice to hear opinions on what's out there today.
Absolutely. Stick around. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back again. Now's the time for today's last interview. Why don't you tell us about it, Tanner?
So I interviewed a guy named Josh Perlman Hall. I've been friends with him for the past couple years. He lives up in Cleveland Heights, and he's a musician that deals a lot of different instruments, and he's also involved in a lot of different music projects, ranging from his own personal ones for short and full-length songs to different bands throughout the area.
Okay, he sounds pretty involved. Let's check him out.
My name is Josh Perlman Hall. I grew up in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, and my musical background is heavily influenced by 60s music. I was the resident Beatles fanatic at my high school. I was known for only wearing t-shirts that were in some way associated with the Beatles. It was kind of my personality. High school, you know. Anyway, and then I grew into being a huge fan of the Beach Boys as well, and generally exploring a lot of what the 60s pop genres had to offer. I also have musical background playing jazz, and I have some musical training in my background, but I like to pretend like I don't because too much knowledge can get in the way. I have been taking music lessons, or I took music lessons for quite a while, so I started playing piano in like first grade. I really didn't like it, but somewhere along the line, and I took clarinet and saxophone and guitar lessons through my middle school and high school years. But somewhere in there, I realized that I actually did like playing piano as long as I could play. What got me back into playing music, and I think maybe what got me into being a musician in general, was playing video game music. So I really wanted to play music from the Mario series. I was like, I have to play that. If I can learn that, I will be a master of piano. So that's what kind of got me back into playing music seriously, and then that led to a more serious interest in, like I said, the Beatles. That got me into learning guitar, and I wanted to replicate their sound, so that's kind of my musical upbringing. I look back and I see a lot of different sources of inspiration for why I was making music at the time. I think the first iteration of inspiration was, I want to do a sort of 60s inspired, faithful 60s production of, cover songs, because I thought that was kind of a cool take, which I actually go back and listen, I was like, these are kind of cool. But it was very much like I didn't want to do anything that was mine. I wanted to just sort of show that I was able to put these puzzle pieces together, and that was inspiring. I loved arranging those songs and kind of figuring out how would I take this modern pop song or this whatever, these songs, and do them in this style. And I think it was a good chance to flex those muscles and figure out how that works in arranging a song. But then after that, I kind of got more into was inspired by like internet humor or lack thereof. It's just this sort of weird ironic music joke meme, but not type of just making weird things that I think the inspiration there and a lot of the drive behind that was things that I found funny, but things that I thought other people would find funny, which is fine. And I think that a lot of people make things with that intention. But as I continue to grow into a musician with my own, outlook, I think something that I've come to realize is really important is, and what inspires me these days is, for each person, we have something that we love about music or about life, the things that we just intrinsically love. And I think that there's a big leap of faith that you have to take when making music and saying, these are the things that I love. I'm going to put them in the music that I make and hope that other people will love the music that I make for the same reasons that I love the music that I make. And you kind of have to say, I'm going to put this part of me in here and just hope that everyone sees it the same way that I do. People who you've talked to have said writing music or producing or whatever these days is a struggle because of COVID and just sort of a general lack of inspiration. And I would say I agree with that on one side, in that COVID makes it feel kind of pointless to release music. I don't know exactly where that comes from, either if that feels like there's no audience or there's no pressure or whatever. But for me, I've found COVID and quarantine is a good chance to reflect on why I make music and, like you said, what inspires me. And I think as I look back at what I've made, so in my career writing music as Josh Isn't, but beyond that, I am a member of 2 bands. So the first band might be familiar. It's the Michael Weber Show, a explosive rock group from Akron, Ohio. I love playing with Michael and James and Silly Billy. Band number 2 is I am 1/3 of the Prom Queens. We call ourselves a glam folk pop trio based in Cleveland. The band is comprised of myself and singers Hannah Leach and Ayanna Cheston, and it's a harmony-driven, sort of folky pop experience where the idea is our live performances are more acoustic-y. It's usually I'm playing the instruments, either guitar or piano, accompanying them doing harmony lead vocal. And it's a really cool, really fun band to be in. I am the scorer. I am the scorer. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. I produce the music for the podcast known as Wholehearted Podcast. That's a super fun role. It's so different than creating songs for artists or for bands. It's fun to work within the parameters of, I need a 1 minute long song, and at the 40-second mark we need a jump in energy or whatever. That type of project is super fun for me, and the Wholehearted Podcast is to describe it briefly, it is a series of interviews and personal essays around the people's wholehearted commitment to people, places, things, ideas. So that is one that I hold near and dear to my heart. Yeah, so I'm not posting a ton. I know that's kind of a common theme with COVID. I'm not posting a ton of new music, but if you want to go check out what I have created, the Josh Isn't brand is where you can find me across YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube is where most of the meat of the content is. And then for the Michael Weber Show, they're also on all those platforms. I know Facebook is a big one, but Michael's stuff is up on YouTube, and the Prom Queens are on Spotify. The Prom Queens Menagerie is their album there, and same thing with Fig, Baby, that can be found on Spotify to check those out. But yeah, give me a follow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and you may eventually see some new material being released.
Thanks for sharing all of that with us, Tanner. That'll wrap it up for us on Lowdown for this episode. If you want to catch more of us, be sure to check out our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
If you want to catch more episodes of us, you can find us on YouTube at ZTV Lowdown.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Tanner, and that's the Lowdown.